What's going on, guys? Gavin here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through step by step a quick make.com tutorial showing you everything you need to know to get started automating. I wish that I had something like this when I was first starting, as I pretty much had to teach myself everything I know on the platform. This is for you even if you're a complete beginner, you don't have any experience with Zapier, Make, or any other tool, and you especially do not need to know how to code or anything fancy like that. While Make might seem complicated and it might seem techy at first, it's really not, and once you get started, you can be an expert in no time. So, let's dive in. So, the first thing you'll need to do is create a make.com account. We have a link in the description below. That is an affiliate link, and we would appreciate if you signed up using that link. And once you do, come right back in here. So, once you're in here, you'll have your organization right here. Feel free to rename this to whatever your business name is or your personal name, whatever you'd prefer here. Ours is Automation Unlocked, of course, and go right into scenarios and create a new scenario. The scenario that I want to walk through here is essentially an onboarding scenario. The reason why we're doing this is a essential framework for pretty much every business. Every business is onboarding new clients, and there's certain tasks that they do once that happens. So, for example, Google Drive folders are created, emails are sent, Slack invites are sent, Slack notifications are sent, maybe Stripe payments are sent, maybe contracts are sent. There's all types of stuff that you can make happen depending on what the business does. So, for our example, we're going to do a very basic onboarding automation. We'll show you how to connect apps, we'll show you how to set triggers, actions, routers, filters, and all the essentials, so do not worry. First things first, once you come into a new scenario, you'll see this big plus here. This is what's called a trigger. Essentially, the trigger is what starts your automation. In our case, it's once a Google form will be submitted, that's what's going to start this automation. So, I would look up Google Forms, and I encourage you to follow along with me as I do this. So, this is where you can look up different apps. This is where Make acts as an API connector and is able to connect to all these different apps. In our instance, we're going to be watching responses. Now, what I'm doing here is essentially connecting my Google form. So, since I haven't created a Google form yet, and you probably haven't either, let's go over and do that really quick. So, if you go into Google Forms here and just create an untitled form, this is a free online form builder. Feel free to go make an account if you don't have one. We're just going to call this onboarding form. And guys, this is exactly what I did for a client, and it's exactly what you can do as well. For the form description, we'll just say congrats on a new client. Fill out this form to trigger the automation. Just as a reminder, might be an employee, might be the business owner that will be filling this out. And now let's do some basic questions here. So this form is not going to be as complex as what you really can do. It's really just going to be the basics here. So we'll do client first name, we'll do client last name, we'll do company name, and we will do type of business. Oh, and let's add an email in here as well, because we will be sending an email. Perfect. So for type of business, we're going to do SaaS or e-com. We'll get into why we're doing this later in the scenario, but for now, this is perfect. So now that you've made your onboarding form, go ahead and grab this right here. As you can see on the Make module, what it's looking for is a form ID. So for Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Forms, the IDs can always be found right here in the URL, and it typically looks something like this. So after the D here, we have 1K and it ends in A. So all we're going to do is copy and paste this into the form ID. We'll press OK here for now, and right-click the module and press Run this module only. Now you should be getting a green here. That means it ran, that means the connection is there, and you are good to go. This little bubble here will show the data. Now obviously we haven't filled out the form yet, so there is no data at the moment. So let's go ahead and put some dummy data in here. So all you're going to do is copy this right here, go to a new tab, and paste in your form. So let's just do some fake data here because this is strictly testing purposes. We'll do Elon Musk with Tesla because he just became our client. For the email, put an email that you have access to, because what we're going to do is send an email as a test. So if you have another email, that would be ideal here. For example, I will be sending mine to hello@automationunlocked.co, as the email will be sent to Gavin, and the module on forms is currently connected with Gavin, as well as what my email connection will be. Type of business, we'll just do SaaS for now, and press submit. So now let's go back and we have some real data to work with. So before, as you saw, if you right click and go to choose where to start, this is what it's asking. So you can choose from a specific date, you can choose for it to process all, or you can choose for it to process from now on. For this tutorial, let's just choose manually right now, and boom, there's the data that we just submitted. Click on that, press OK, and now right click again and run this module only. Now, once we check this little bubble here, we'll see the output with all of our answers. So as you can see, 4:28 p.m., we have all of our answers in here. So if you go and click all these pluses right here, you can get to the actual value of the client last name, and same for email, company first name, etc. Boom. So we can see all those answers here, and these values are what we're going to map in the next module. So let's do that. If you press plus here and look up Google Drive, let's do create a folder. So to choose a folder location, you can just do the first slash here, and it's just going to be the general location. You can feel free to go into your drive, create a folder called, test automation, whatever you want it to be called. Now, what we're going to name the folder is going to depend on the last modules. So click in here, and boom, we have the response ID, we have the answers, and then when you click this down arrow, you're not going to grab just the client first name here. Actually, in this instance, the folder will be the company's name. You're not just going to click company name here, because that's not going to work for you. You need to go all the way down to the answer and get this actual value of Tesla. Throw that in there and press OK. Now, if we run once, boom. Now a folder has been created. The new folder's name is Tesla. If you go right here and you download the output bundles, you can go grab the web view link here. And I am going to open it up in Hello, just to make sure here that we have access to it. And boom, Tesla has been created. You didn't name that. I didn't go in and name that. It just happened right now in front of us. So pretty cool. And I hope you're following along. Now, best practice here is once you've done anything is to always go to our favorite button right here and press save. I can't tell you how terrible it is once you complete a scenario, you do a bunch of work, and you forget to save. Never forget to save, because you'll lose all your work, and it's really the worst thing in the world. So we've done our first action here. Now let's do another action of sending an email. So you'll often use the Gmail module, and let's do send an email. So make sure you have your connection here. It's best to have a email with a custom domain like this. If you don't, there is a way to set it up. I'll put that in the description below, and you can follow on that. It's a little bit longer of a process. So who are we sending this email to? Well, we're sending it to our client. As you can see, the Google Drive details have come in here now as well. But we're going to scroll down to our original Google form, and we're going to grab the email. So again, go all the way down, all the way to the answers here, and grab this value. Now it'll know to send this to hello automation locked. In reality, this would be, Elon Musk's email or your client's email. Subject, we'll do welcome aboard, and then we can do company name here, personalize it a little bit more. Value again, welcome aboard Tesla. And for the content, we'll say, hi, Elon. So we'll grab the first name here. Feel free to pause this video at any time. Make sure to go back and follow all these steps so you know and you're confident at the end. Hi, Elon. Right here, this is an HTML, so you're going to do this so that you're telling the email that it knows to put a break there. We want a space. We don't want this to all be one long text string. We want a space. Hi, Elon. Excited to work with you and... We're not typing Tesla. Excited to work with you and Tesla. Period. We'll do another break. Looking forward to chatting soon. Little hack here, if you do get stuck, you can lower this like this, then scroll down. Looking forward to chatting soon. Gavin. Now press OK. Now once we run this, it's going to not only create a folder, but it's also going to send us an email. So if we look at the output here, again, we can say, hi Elon, excited to work with you in Tesla. Looking forward to chatting soon. If we want to double check this, we can go to our email and we can see, welcome aboard Tesla. Hi Elon, excited to work with you in Tesla. Looking forward to chatting soon. Gavin. So earlier you saw in the actual form, we put ecom or SaaS. Now I want to introduce a router and filters. Okay, so essentially what filters do is they only perform the action if the filter is correct, right? So there's a little logic involved, but you'll be able to get really good at it in no time. So what I want you to do is right click on the middle of these two modules and press add a router. So we want to send this email here, and then we want to add another email module here that sends an email based on the type of business. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same exact thing. You can actually just copy the module if you don't want to. Press clone here, put it down here, delete this one. And then you'll notice sometimes things get messy, things get weird. Go right here, press auto align, and Meg's going to make it look nice for you. It's a little whack with the scrolling. So, as you can see, all that has come in, but what I want to add here and what I want to show you is a filter. So a router goes like this. It goes this, and then it'll go up here and down here. Now, right now, it would just send both of these emails, but we want to set up filters right in the middle here. So this little tool guy is where you'll be setting up a filter. So what we're doing here and what we want is basically a label that says if service, if type equals SaaS, right? So what we want to do here is send this email only if SaaS was selected. So in the conditions, we're simply going to go down, we're going to find our type of business right here, and we're going to select value. So make sure that this is exactly equal to whatever words you have in here. So we're going to type SaaS, best practice, do case insensitive, many instances that this will be helpful, and then press OK. Now this email will only be sent if SaaS is the type of business. So looking forward to chatting soon with our head of software, right? And then in this email, we'll do looking forward to chatting soon with our head of ecom. Now, this is just complete dummy data. This is just simply to show you what's going on in a filter. So let's set up another filter here and label if type equals ecom. Again, same thing. We'll do case insensitive, and we will grab the answer here and ecom. Let's just make sure it's exactly ecom. Honestly, you can just copy and paste it just to make sure there's no spaces there, and boom. Okay, so now when we run this, we want it to only go one way or the other. So now, depending on whether it is a SaaS or an ecom business, it will perform this action or this action. So let's right click back on our module, let's choose where to start, and let's again choose the one response that we have in there. When you're done, you would choose from now on so that while this is actually turned on right here, where you schedule the automation on, it'll actually run from now on. For this example, we're just doing choose manually just so we have that data. Press OK. Run once. I'm going to have 3 folders now named Tesla, and boom. As you can see, this little filter came up and it says, yes, it was a SaaS. So we sent the email for SaaS, right? So with our head of software. So now you've learned routers, you've learned filters, you've learned triggers, actions, and you're getting pretty good. If you feel like a tech expert yet, we're just really getting started. So these are great. All of this is great. This is a good foundation. Let's talk a little bit more about getting a bit more advanced. So a lot of the times you don't actually want to start with a Google form watch responses. Why? Let's look. Every 15 minutes, this will be running and this will be checking, okay? So you'll run the scenario, it'll be checking it every 15 minutes. That's gonna take a lot of operations. Instead, what we do and what is best practice, whether it's a Google form, Airtable form, etc., is actually setting up a webhook. So, setting up a webhook is different depending on Airtable, Google Forms, Typeform, another form response, but what we want to do is actually delete this module. Yes. So if you want, you can go, you can save changes. You can have this here, just a reference, and then clone this. And we'll just do onboarding Google form. Google Drive folder created. Plus personalized email sent. Boom. Now let's go in here and let's get rid of our Google Forms. So we're going to delete that. We're going to do a new module called a webhook. Webhooks are very powerful and you will be using this a lot. We'll do a custom webhook, and what we see here is instant. What does that mean? That means that as soon as the form is submitted, it will instantly trigger this scenario. That's ideal. That's exactly what you want. You don't want it checking every so often using operations. Now there is also ACID, which only uses operations if there is data there, but for best practice, it's always best to use a webhook. So select custom webhook here, and you're going to add a new connection. Now, we'll choose a hook here, and we're going to just add a new one and be very clear with what this is. So this is an onboarding form webhook. This is essential because they're all going to show up here. You're going to have a million webhooks, and you always want to just name everything as clear as possible. Same with the title, same with folders, same with your organization. It's best to stay as organized as possible. Now, what's going on here? Make is now listening for the data and will determine the data structure from the incoming data automatically. To initiate this, please send your data sample to the webhook address displayed above. So you're going to copy address to clipboard. So I'll put this in the description below, but this is the article I followed on how to send webhooks from Google Forms. It's very simple. You just get this add-on from the Google Workspace Marketplace, and then go back over to your onboarding form, press this right here, and you'll be able to see webhooks for Google Forms. Now, once you click that, this is where you can actually set up a webhook. So again, make sure this is copied to clipboard. Go back in here and create a webhook. We'll call this the onboarding form to make. And we will be doing a get request here. Excuse me, we will be doing a post request here. A get means you're getting data, and a post means you're sending data. And right now we are sending data because we want this data to go right to this webhook here. So now it's listening for data, and this will stop once it actually sees this data. So query params, we don't need to worry about that right now. Let's go over to request body, content type, and they already have a form content type. You can also do JSON, Java, HTML. There's other options for this. It's nice and easy, and it already has the necessary variables here. So let's save this. Takes a minute, and now we'll go back to make, and it's still listening for the data. So let's test this out. Success. So that's what you want. Go back here. Successfully determined. Perfect. Now all this magic is going to happen based on this webhook. So we're going to have to change what we have here. Our new folder's name will now come on here. So let's make sure we have some data in here to use. So we'll run this module only, and then let's fill out our form. So again, let's go to send. We'll copy, paste it right in here. And who else can we do? Let's do Jeff. Do a little Jeff Bezos. And Amazon, we have Amazon and Tesla. We're doing pretty good. And again, we'll do hello. Amazon's e-com for sure. We'll submit that. Go back. And then this is triggered instantly. Now, when you go here, nice and clean. All it is all the data. This not only looks better than the Google Forms, but it's instant. It's going to use less operations. And using a webhook is key for you to learn. So now for the rest, let's make sure that all this makes sense. Now we don't need to click right into each bundle. We can literally just go right here and we can find the company name just like that. It looks much cleaner. Now for the router, our filter will also need to be updated to make sure that it's actually the type of business that aligns with SaaS. For this one, same thing. And for the email, we'll have to change everything here as well. It's annoying. So email, welcome aboard, Jeffrey. Wait, no, we're welcoming aboard Amazon. And hi, Jeff. Excited to work with you and Amazon. Looking forward to chatting soon with our head of software. Perfect. Now, Amazon will not be coming through here for the software, but we're just going to put that in there anyway for demonstration purposes. Same thing here. Again, you can just copy and paste the module. I'm just going to do this because it'll take 2 seconds. Awesome. So now let's run it all and let's see how we do. Go back to your form. We'll submit another response. We'll just do Jeff Bezos again. We'll submit that, head back over to our scenario, and get ready for the magic to happen. So this time, as you can see, it went the e-com route, which is perfect. That means our filter is working perfectly. And we can see that this email was sent. Hey, Jeff, excited to work with you in Amazon. Looking forward to chatting soon with our head of e-com. So to wrap it up, everything that you've learned here is a webhook. This will trigger responses or other data instantly. You learned how to add modules, you learned a router, and you learned a filter, along with some essentials here of auto align, save, right-clicking on a module, showing the stuff in there, running this module only, testing things out. And once you're done, you'll simply press on right here. You'll go back and save your changes, and now this is running. So anytime that this form is filled out, these actions will be completed. I'm not going to turn it on because this is not for a client, but this is what you will do. I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and be sure to join my automation agency Discord. It's full of fellow AAA owners and a bunch of people sharing all types of resources around automation, AI, and things like that. So until next time, keep automating.